Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. And that basically means that you, the people, every last one of you, living on this earth, during these times, in these bodies, having the experience as though you're living in heaven. This is an aim, this is a goal. And my friends, with you, working together with the spirit of that, there it is, just like that. What I want to talk to you about today, ladies and gentlemen, is this. You know, I'm constantly speaking about that, living as though we're in heaven today. And I speak of starting here in America. You know, you have to start at home. And when I speak about things like this, sometimes it might seem as if I am not really aware of what's going on and what's happening in the world. I mean, how can I think about everybody having a job in America? That would affect everything around the world. You see, what we have going on are national and international markets. And these are the things that happen around the world. They dictate business and commerce. Yes? So any changes in these areas affects the operation of business around the world. So for America's full employment, it affects the operations, again, around the world. So why would I say something like this that sounds so dangerous, so disassembling a process that is what we call so many problems? Well, creating fulfilled basic human rights for Americans would require adjustments around the world. The things that I talked to you about would require adjustments, not just here nationally, but around the world. And I know you are aware of this. I'm saying it now to let you know that I am also aware of this. Now, this brings us to the reality that humans represent angels and demons. Now, I want to take you there, ladies and gentlemen, because the things that I talk to you about are not going to be happening on just what we consider as these normal everyday things that we've been exposed to, the normal everyday things that they taught us that are available to us. They will never work for us if that's all we got. So I want you to see this thing from the perspective where you can understand it. I want you to understand that we as human beings represent angels and demons. Now, the demons, for those of you who heard my last presentation, are represented by that prodigal twin that refused to return to the truth of or respect for the plans. You know, I'm talking about plans that are universal plans of cooperation and righteousness. Let me make that clear. In my last presentation, I talked about not just the prodigal son, but the prodigal twins, both eating and went to that trough to eat out of that trough. One returned. One said, no, well, you go back and check that video out. So he wasn't going to go for cooperation and righteousness. He come this low, but rather the plans of selfishness. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to go for selfishness. And once you start going for selfishness, you're going and giving representation for evil. All that is done, every action that is taken down on this rabbit hole is to further the plan of evil. And it equals, just so you know when it happens, it equals wealth and poverty. It equals crime and violence. It represents hatred and racism and bigotry. And to achieve this, the demons of the nation and the demons of the world, they will lie, they will cheat, they will rob, they will terrorize, they will murder, and they will engage in war as war is taking place around the world today. The one most noticeable is Russia with Ukraine. And like George Bush stated in a presentation when he was going to remind the nation or the world of it, he made a mistake and inserted Iraq. The man George W. Bush. Same thing. Be smart. Now, like all children, maturity allows for experimentation. Experimentation. You know, your child, you learn all this stuff, and then you grow up, and the first thing you want to do is, what do you know? What's real with you? What's different about you? Well, wisdom involves training. It involves training as a child, remembered, and seeing the difference between what is acceptable and unacceptable. Now, the prodigal twin that remembered the way of peace, the way of prosperity, the way of freedom, the way of joy and dreams met, chose to return to it. That's that prodigal son you heard about that returned home, because he recognized that you don't have to eat with the pigs. You don't have to eat like animals, because you have access to food, to clothing, to shelter. He recognized that healthcare, education, the benefits of life, they were available. Now, why are you down eating with this trough? Something went wrong. Now, as such, now there's a price, my friends. As such, a prodigal, evil resists the glow of your light, and darkness exposed. These are reflecting the evils by showing the righteous are sent home quick. What did I say? This is the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Waking up. Waking up. You're talking about woke. Waking up means you see the truth. When you see the truth, you make a choice. And you make that choice. I mean, when you really make that choice, that's how you're waking up. Your light glows. It starts showing all this ugliness. And when people start listening, this is when the evil one that eating out that trough, these pigs, you in the way. So they'll send you home quite quick. Now, for this reason, because they'll send you home real quick, brave men become slaves. Brave men like Attorney General Barr. Brave men like Vice President Pence. Brave men like Senator Graham, Cruz. Brave men, Mitchell. All of those guys become slaves because of this threat. Good people follow unjust and evil rules and policies. Doing this, the light diminishes, and the darkness becomes darker. The only hope, my friends, as I say this to you at this moment in time, that the Democrats have in the midst of this hell that we've reduced ourselves to, is to do the right thing for all. There's no trying to outsmart evil. Evil's been practiced by these Republicans who are doing it right now, and they are masters of it. And you cannot wake up right on the morning and have it together and try to defeat and argue with them. This guy and these guys have been at that trough eating with the pigs for a long time. And you just recognize that that's what you're doing. And you're going to try to outmaneuver these guys who got a big fat belly of slop. It ain't going to work. The only hope that the Democrats or anyone would have against such a built-up enemy of life as this is to do the right thing. To do the absolute opposite. Don't try to argue with them. If they have reduced themselves this low and willing to go much lower, then you got to go all the way as high you know you can go. And that is that every human being wants these certain things of life. They want peace. You make sure that you get it and they get it. They want prosperity. You make sure you get it and they get it. They want freedom. You make sure you get it and they get it. They want joy. You make sure you get it and they get it. They want their dreams to come true. You make sure yours and theirs come true. That all of your needs, all of your wants, all of your desires come true. Why? Because that's what you set out to do, and you learn how to do it. You learn how to cooperate, work righteously together. You realize that there are certain things that are essential amongst you, the people, for survival, like food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and all of the wonderful things that we do on this earth. Not only that, you realize that the resources that are used to cause the manifestation with our imagination all comes from powers that we didn't see. They are gifts in the earth for us to utilize, and we have. And what are we doing? We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, except we're following a lie. We're following the dictates of men who have no purpose except selfishness and evil. And the whole message, my friend, that if you want to live like a king, as a king, my friend, a free king, you got to know where the power is. The power is from truth. And that is that everybody want to live like a king or a queen. Why? Because they are. And the resources are here. The only thing that's denying them is the lie that we are more or better than someone else. That's the deceptive lie that we got to change. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? We got to take care of business. Whoa. Well, somebody's calling me. I think I gotta go. Time to take this phone call. Goodbye for now.